you guys to look out for. Cypher is an absolute legend in the community, and something that's made him so famous is actually how good his rockets are. So if you want something to look out for, then that's definitely something you've got to keep your eyes on. And with Astroboy, it's just that general aggression using the plethora of arms that he's got. But that music is signaling the start of the series. We've got Cypher from Virtus Pro and Astroboy from Just a Minute Gaming getting started now. Cypher is who we're on board with to start. And he actually drops down early and doesn't even take the rocket.
No.
And the mega, which is something we see is almost every single time players will do. Cypher does like to go against the grain sometimes. And
he definitely has a better position now in controlling that rocket launcher. He does, but he lets Jam Astroboy get in on it, thinking it's an even kill. Aggressive move just to make sure that he's not anywhere to be seen in the red armor, heavy armor, should I say? Another confusing terminology, and it's all okay.
It's very confusing when it's completely right.
I'm colorblind.
Cypher is landing a couple of rails already, to be fair. He might look to try and close a gap in the near future. Got to watch out for that Berserk, but Astroboy, he's not able to use his weapons at all, and he is going to want to escape to avoid further damage. But Cypher's kind of shut himself off the map for a moment. He's going to poke his head out and walks into the rocket. What a precise shot from Astroboy. What a read at the same time.
Yeah. Interpreting the double back, understanding exactly what Cypher was getting up to, and it was pretty much direct, if not direct.
Well, I wonder if he's going to be able to build any momentum with this.
This is the one new dimension that I've seen to Cypher's play. Nice rocket coming out there, which is the use of that anarchy, recognizing how strong that champion can be. It's something he never used prior to this tournament, and so he's definitely been working on his new strategies and adopting what would be the common picks as well.
Yeah, I think he's realized that he can't look too far into all of the other champions when there's so much success that's been had with some of the more mainstream ones in the pool. I know we've seen some interesting things from the slashes and the Sorlags and the clutches lately, but I think this is something that in this tournament has definitely worked out for the better.
He just wanted to play traditional duel and create order in what was the chaos originally, and that's what he was doing, adopting the Galenas, etc. It just wasn't working, and so obviously severely disappointed after Italy reflected on that and has now looked at his game and picked up what would be common picks.
I gotta say that Astroboy is creating some great pressure with the railgun.
He is. But the problem is after he does go super aggressive.
He's going to get another punch in. This is dangerous for him. Can he quite reach? No, the LG is going to stop him. Cypher just about stays out of range. And that's going to be a relief to get that Doomslayer taken care of.
The problem is he hasn't, yes, you're completely right in that he's hitting a few amazing shots, but he's not having any presence on the map. Cypher's had more or less free reign of all the items prior to now.
Oh, he's found him. That's a good rocket, but unfortunately it's not quite going to stop Astroboy in his footsteps. Mega there, but he's just trying to take hold of the item that he does not rightfully deserve.
This is
all over him.
A new grain of aggression coming out from from Cypher, in that we don't often see him rocking, jumping around the map and being as quick and aggressive as this. And that's one of the vulnerabilities of Anarchy as well.
Yeah, I mean, he went a little bit too aggressive just then. Astroboy was very much prepared for it. And I think Cypher is going to have to have a certain level of respect for what Astroboy is capable of. With Mega up in a moment. He's not hitting the same shots he was a moment earlier. 3 misses in a row. And he is going to disappear into his Ghost Walk. Cypher flees the room as well. Control to be continued on the armor. Is there going to be any challenge whatsoever? That will be a no. Astroboy, the long time until that Ghost Walk's up again, unless he can find a whole heap of those time shards.
And the problem is that Cypher got the better positioning with regards to time shards, so Ghost Walk is now back up, but...
Oh, okay, Cypher finds the rail. He's going to find the follow-up as well. Astroboy just giving one too many angle, thinking that he's a small target and maybe not so vulnerable. Cypher's going to be hitting those shots. And it was a great start for Astroboy, but he wasn't able to continue whatsoever.
It was. He was hitting some awesome shots, just needs to have a bit more of a presence on the map. Cypher just didn't really feel challenged going into the items, despite eating a few rails outside of that and a couple of overextensions as well. But that's just the way he plays, and I wouldn't want to change that.
Cypher got himself couple of the important weapons. Going to see him outside the teleport. Astroboy takes a moment for him to realize, and he's just going to keep walking into rockets. That seems very uncharacteristic of him to fall so easily with Nyx.
Characteristic of Cypher, though, with pretty much pinpoint rockets. Could go Ghost Walk here. He feels like he knows exactly what Astroboy is up to.
Well, that was a good decision from Astroboy in the end to go down for the rocket. Cypher made an aggressive play. They're going to run into each other here in center map. Cypher gets out using the teleporter, looking to re-engage. And I think Astroboy just is looking to buy some space. He's not really able to keep Cypher at bay for much longer than seconds at a time.
3 seconds until that ability is up, but he also needs to pick up one of the smaller armors to feel confident to go on the map, because obviously he still is railable.
They will have an exchange unless he's actually sitting on the side. Going to find him going up the bounce pad, and he's going down to an item that's not going to be there, so he's played himself completely off the map. Cypher going to have huge control. He does need some rockets for the rocket launcher, but there's certainly a lot of damage he's able to do with the rest of the weapons.
And you can see the positioning of Cypher in that, yes, he's hitting more than Astroboy in this round, but he's also taking the more aggressive positions, and that's why Astroboy's stuck to the lower levels, and he hasn't got any idea on the timing. That's why he's in this wrong position. He's probably going to die because of it.
Well, he's going to use the Ghost Walk in the end. Astroboy running away, looking for a rail shot to land, but he's not quite going to get it. Astroboy with a chance now. He's rockets to the floor and almost takes himself out. Here comes the drop. No Ghost Walk for a while. Astroboy feels that this is the time that he can make it happen. But he eventually slips away. I don't know if there was low ammunition or something like that. But that felt like it was the occasion.
Low ammunition from both players as Cypher run out of rockets as well. Reclaims them now, getting back that full arsenal of weaponry. And the map resets because both cooldowns are just about to come off cooldown in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and they have a relatively even stack as well. Astroboy picking up that Mega, making it the differential even bigger, and should be able to whiz round to get a clean heavy if he doesn't force out the Ghost Walk first.
Oh, that was a good rocket, and it landed actually before Ghost Walk was used. Cypher manages to escape.
And now Cypher needs to turtle. He also needs time shards as well, but he needs to get them carefully.
That rocket just slightly mistimed, finds a couple of sprinkles of damage, but with the Mega coming up shortly. Oh, that rocket was tremendously close. We have got one rail landed. Astroboy, he needs to hit a clutch shot, but he's not able to do that. He uses the injection, but he's still going to be vulnerable to one of those rail slugs. As Cypher is just not hitting these guys, firing everything they've got at each other.
No, but you can see what Cypher does particularly well in that he always takes a position, even though he's on the defense, to make sure he either does damage or is able to get on top of the Mega, and he slowly creeped in that rail exchange and eventually stole it away despite not having any real right to do so.
This is going to look harder and harder for Astroboy to make it back in this map. He does find the Mega health, but these rockets from Cypher have just been excellent. There's no way he's going to survive that. He was being bounced all over the place and had no control of his movement. Astroboy now, he's going to get himself the rockets. He might try a challenge from one side of the armor, but won't actually be able to take the item himself. It's laying that trap, which is hard work, and he tends to go up to the nail gun area where there's so many exits of that heavy. Maybe Cypher's finding that bit a little bit predictable.
With a minute to go, there's no unnecessary risk to come out from Cypher's side. Just going to play a little bit plus black and try and catch Astroboy out just like this if he makes a mistake. And a nice finishing rail with the patience.
So the double jump was used. It's like, well, you're just a floating target right now. Let me just make sure I'm not going to miss. I got plenty of health, no problem at all.
Grey duck with fists.
That's one way to describe it. That's going to put Cypher, though, on 2 rounds here in map 1.
I think it's one of the nicest things to see in Quake is when there is that just calmness of the aim, waiting until the perfect moment to shoot, whether it's rockets or rail.
It's almost easier than a bounce pad rail, actually.
It is.
Would be worrying if he did miss it, but Cypher does take a fair amount of damage.
pops the Ghost Walk as well. He knows exactly where Cypher's going.
He's got to land something, though. He did 1 damage with that last rocket, and Cypher manages to find a health bubble post-armor pickup. And now he's looking a bit better. Astroboy needs to start showing us how good his combat skills are. That rocket somehow landed.
Nice rocket from Astroboy. Still, the timing is so off. He's been waiting here for a good 15 seconds.
He's going to realize it's gone bad when Cypher
Oh,
keeps trying to attack it, and oh my god, he hits the vertical rail as well. I think Astroboy, you know, Cypher's in his head, Astroboy's in his own head. I'm wondering, why am I not called Dan the King anymore? it's just all going wrong for him right now.
What have I done with my life? He needs to go back to basics in terms of this item timing. It's been a few times we've seen these mistakes in that he's missing out on items, standing around on items. And when you're falling down on the basics against some of the best players in the world, it's the first thing you need to fix.
I mean, it is the fundamental. Keeping at least a rotation of one of the items, you have to be doing that safely. And you have to have, you know, have that clutter in your mind. That's Astroboy. We're only early in the series. This might have been almost the end of the first map. And that is a lot of stack for Cypher. He's going to go use his Ghost Orb, but he's going to pick up one more kill. And there's
it's smooth sailing so far. I
very
really think that the King's been able to even frag Cypher.
I'm surprised. Do you think it may be a little bit of the aura of respect that the name Cypher commands, or do you think that actually the play is complementing that from Cypher?
I think it's a slight combination of both. Cypher makes your life very difficult, obviously, and that it forces you to change the way in which you're playing. And this isn't the same Dan the King we saw. Oh gosh, can't do it. The same Astroboy we saw earlier in the day.
Uh oh, here comes a punch. There might be a frag hit, but the Ghost Walk is going to be used in time, and he's going to look for a rail shot. Oh, he cannot quite land it.
Earlier in the tournament, what should I say? But I mean, it's the first map. He's still not in it. He's still got his Doomslayer to go. We've seen worse comebacks than this.
Yeah. That's going to be heavy. If he can make an aggressive play towards the Mega now, this will be good. Even a rocket jump up might not be a bad idea, but he has spotted Cypher. But all those rails that he was landing in the first round, since after Cypher overtook him and eventually dominated round one, he's not really been landing anything consistently.
No, and it's he's been on the back foot though, which obviously makes your life in terms of positioning and hitting your shots extra difficult.
There's a nasty rocket just there. He's going to find one rail, and there's a limited amount of health. Going into Ghostwalk, I do not see any way for survival. That is going to be one more frag for Cypher, and a pretty slick 3-0 for him in map one.
The office, if I'm honest. He didn't really have to overextend himself. He just played the basics very well. He cycled the items. One of the things, obviously, is that you can't deny his aim was on point. He was hitting his rails. He was taking extremely aggressive positions, and Dan the King, Astroboy, couldn't really find a way to respond. Obviously, we said basics were slightly slacking from him, and ultimately, when it came to these one-on-one crucial fights, Cypher got away very low a numerous amount of times. Yeah. Cypher's execution was much cleaner.
I think that Astroboy is going to very much need this next couple of minutes as we get ourselves ready for map 2, just to have a think and see what went wrong, because it seems to be a breakdown on many different areas. Cypher sure is playing well. We know he's going to be immensely focused to try and achieve something at this major end-of-year tournament. Considering things have not been very good for him earlier in the year, and he's playing
I mean, like I said yesterday, as soon as he lost from the Italian Open, within like a matter of a minute or two, he was like, right, I just can't wait for Sweden to come around, because he knew, I think he knew at that point what he wanted to change and how to fix his game. He had experienced a number of different styles at that point. It was his first LAN, and coming to a tournament, coming to a LAN situation is the quickest and best way to progress your game. You get to see a number of styles in person, you discuss ideas, and you get to experience. It's a different experience in playing in-game. Everyone plays differently. The actual in-game is slightly different as well. And so your mind opens up, and you can realize, what do I need to change? What do I need to do? How can I become a better player? And when you're one of the best players ever to play the game, the Raffas and the Cyphers of the world, that learning experience is so crucial. He's obviously taken that forward and really adjusted his game. We've seen a completely different Cypher to we've actually seen in previous tournaments. And it's exciting to see that back.
No, it's true, and he was so good at Quake Live. But of course, Quake Live, Quake Champions are two very different games. But if he's going to go really deep in this tournament, he's going to be one of the first big names of an old Quake to really actually get that consistency and adapt into Quake Champions. So it could be really impressive. We see him get to the next round,
if he can keep it up and do the same thing against Astroboy on this next map, because obviously this is Astroboy's map pick now, then we can say, yep, Cypher's going to be here to play. If he can then take it into the next following rounds and do it against his next opponent, which I think would be Tox,
yes,
that's when you say, okay, he might be capable of winning this tournament because Tox's aim has been on point. Tox can bring the aggression. If Cypher can handle that, then you say, yes, he's tournament caliber.
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, we are going to be moving into map 2 right now. It is going to be Blood Run, Cypher, and Astroboy are going to get us started.
Is the map where Astroboy has pulled out all the stops against every opponent we've seen him against. And I expect big things from him here.
Well, he's going to have to pull out something because map 1 simply was not enough from him. We are on board with Cypher to start. And he is going to have the rockets, the lightning gun to work with. A hint of mega overstack to slowly trickle down.
We see the slash from Cypher, which I'm particularly excited to see, actually. Because every time we've seen it today, it's been very fun.
Oh, nice little dodging work, actually, from Astroboy.
Cypher decides to hold on to the Ghost Wall. One of the reasons being the teleporter was there. The other is that he didn't have a rail to work with, so might not have caught up. But also now he has it on the defense.
This is interesting. Astroboy, he's going to have to predict that Cypher's going to be behind him. He lands an okay rocket, and Cypher's not quite able to get all the damage that he needed. One more rocket from Astroboy, nice. And he follows up with another. Good start here from the Aussie. However, we had a good start on map 1, and it very quickly went downhill.
No, but that was a great play. It was very ballsy because Astroboy was still extremely low, but he recognized Cypher's path of movement and was able to cut him off as he came out of that stairway.
Time to see some of the slash work, and Cypher does some amazing things with this champion, but Astroboy's keeping the pressure on nicely, and actually Cypher ends up killing himself with rockets. We had a brilliant rocket from Astroboy on the exit of the teleporter, and then Cypher did the rest of the work for him. He's got no more rails left. He did get one out just then, but it did not connect. Going with the LG, going to see if he can push Cypher away.
And this is something we saw in this first match of the weekend against Gilson, in that he struggled on the initial map, but when it came to Blood Run, his comfort, it was obviously a comfort zone for him because his positioning becomes astronomically better, and he's able to do significant amount of damage around the items, play much more aggressively, and just has a better dual fundamental to work with.
Let's see if Cypher start to edge his way back in this one. I wouldn't mind a little combo like we've seen in some of the Ron Cooler games. He's going to step closer now. That Ghost Walk's going to get forced out, and Astroboy is so weak, but he's just vulnerable, sitting there waiting to be railed. Sure, he took the heavy armor. It just did not seem to be worth it when hiding at this point. I mean, look at the clock. Sure, there's plenty of time left, but you're playing a champion whose really specialty is in turtling. Rockets getting some decent splash. That last rocket was solid. He's going to go in for the punch. Cypher just did not anticipate that forward aggression. And it is going to be Astroboy taking the round 1. And at last we're seeing something, getting some numbers on the board now.
Taking life out of the Aussie.
That's it, and that's what we want.
Give him a Foster's. That was a nice round. He just played duel better. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Well, he's going to have to do it a couple more times. Cypher pressuring on the armor, and Astroboy just about times that pickup with perfection. But without the Ghost Walk for a while, Cypher's going to think about, how am I going to close the gap as soon as possible? Finds one, looking for a follow-up rocket, and Astroboy actually gets some good damage in return.
And Cypher switching up the initial pick, showing a different strategy here in response to the way in which the previous round played out.
Astroboy's completely off the map at the moment. Slash can get a pretty healthy stack when Mega and Heavy have just been taken.
Indeed, and Slash has a pretty much full stack now. Waiting around these smaller armors for Astroboy to turn up.
He's hoping that maybe he's going to creep around these hallways just because this is more defensive side of the passive side of the map you'd go to. But that speed comes in, but he just can't get it quite right. He gets caught on the edge, 15 health to go, but he finds him with the plasma trail. He just walks all the way through it. I think Astroboy felt that maybe he deserved a frag just then, but couldn't justify chasing up, and he's immediately going to go down afterwards.
That was far too aggressive and unnecessary at the end of the day. There was no real reason for him to be there, even though Cypher wasn't the healthiest. The fact is, those hallways are just death traps for the lighter champions.
We have got Doomslayer, who has done work for us in the past, but look at
Nice.
that return fire. He's going to hit him mid-air. He's going to hit one more. That is going to be a very clean round for Cypher, and it seemed that Astroboy had no idea what hit him.
He got executed.
Yeah, 2 middies. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Twitching with comfort, I can see.
To hear that word. Stop hitting me with
Stop hitting me with directs. And we did say that you watch out for Cypher's rockets at the beginning. Maybe we should have told Astroboy as well. I'm sure he knows what Cypher's strong at. Now Cypher to look for a couple of rails. We've got some good return fire though from Astroboy.
Yeah, Cypher's now being forced into the back room. Still doesn't have the rocket launch to play with, so going to be dangerous to go down here. A nice trap coming out from Astroboy. Can he finish him off? Yes, he will be able to.
A little rail switch right at the end. I don't know if I don't think it was panic, but so much as because of the movement I have, it's harder for me to just make an escape like that. So looking for that maximum damage possible.
From Cypher?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you have very little option apart from forfeit your life, is just do the most damage possible. Caught again. And
what? Well, he finds the rail at the end, but that was not a conventional way of going through things.
Almost saved his life, but he should have got away anyway.
Well, the thing is, Astroboy was right next to rockets. He only had 2 rockets left, and then he decided to push down to the LG, and he'd run out of ammunition there. All he had to do was sidestep, a couple of feet away, and he would have been much healthier on ammo. He's sitting here on armor, and he shouldn't be doing anything with it. LG is quite nice from him, actually, and with the Berserk not up for a few seconds' time, trying to push it, that would have been an absolutely sick rail if he could have taken it.
That was just 1 pixel away from clipping Doomslayer's leg.
I like the little pre-fire style as well that he was going for. Astroboy manages to get himself a couple more of the hourglasses to reduce his cooldown.
Oh dear, Cypher's gone up, but he gets the punch.
I think the LG completely ran out, so all of a sudden Astroboy is not able to kind of manage the distance with the knockback. And that's the second time this map that we've seen a couple of hiccups with the ammunition. He's really got to keep an eye on that ammo bar.
It's a thing in Quake Live that's actually happening a lot more than it used to in Quake Live. In Quake Champions, it's happening a lot more than it used to in Quake Live, should I say. And it is definitely a basic skill in duel is ammo management.
Yeah. They have kind of changed things a little bit in terms of how things start. Cypher's under a lot of pressure at the moment. Only 19 health to go. We're going to get a drop down. Rail's not going to hit. Astroboy has plenty of stacks, so he should be able to give himself a good edge in the round.
Yeah, definitely. This is the opportunity to pick up the pace when Cypher's got very little to work with. The only problem is now the 1 punch is back up.
Yeah.
Which is, we've seen, if you get into close quarters, it can just be a get out of jail free card sometimes if you get a bit lucky.
Oh, that's a decent rocket. And he follows up with the rail. That combination was excellent. And Cypher maybe not expecting that amount of firepower to come out. Hits another good rocket, but the Ghost Walk is there. We've got very little rocket and rail ammo now for Astroboy. Cypher looking to survive for a bit,
but he also needs to play extremely patiently because his weaponry is extremely small. Astroboy is camping on that rocket launcher. He's done this a few times.
I think I saw his hoverboard there.
Just. He still thinks he hasn't been seen.
Is it? No, you've been discovered.
If I wait here long enough.
That damn hoverboard.
But Cypher manages to sneak his way around. Might be able to sneak the Mega. Perfect timing.
Oh, Astroboy, you should not be here at all. The rocket lands right at the end. Both players will survive. Still a pretty close fight. It wasn't as if Astroboy was not returning fire.
But those 3 rockets were absolutely crucial to getting Cypher back into this game. Still needs to pick up the rail. That should be another priority. Very early for this, but has the Ghost Walk if he needs to pop it.
Oh, he goes back for the jump. There's still a couple of seconds to go, and he's eventually going to Ghost Walk. Might feel that he's able to get back up. Astroboy's there. He's walking into rockets, but Cypher, he pays the price in the end. Astroboy now is on map point himself here on Blood Run.
That was risky. I liked the play, but great reaction from Astroboy, actually, and it was only a little bit of health left.
I think he had to improvise a little bit there. That was a brilliant frag from him, in fact. We'd love to see that double mid-air as well that we got from a Cypher a little later down the line.
That was beautiful.
That was absolutely insane, and I mean, Astroboy had no idea what was going on. You don't get surprised like that too often. Cypher pushing in. He's got the starting shotgun out, trying to get some damage, but it's not really getting more than
Astroboy
20.
might have popped the Ghost Walk as well. He has. Can he catch Cypher? And he will.
What a rail, actually. The rocket started to be a very disadvantaged angle for him, managing to actually hit that important shot. That's a step closer now to giving us a tiebreaker map. And I think people probably weren't expecting that after what we saw on map 1.
No, but just as we said, the level of comfort he has here is great. He's reading Cypher particularly well. He's playing safe. He's controlling the items. And when Cypher's out of control, he's setting up nice traps. He's not getting the most amount of pressure on. He's not playing, as we said, we expected, super aggressively until he's out of control. And that's when he decides to pick up the pace for some reason. But he's understanding exactly what Cypher wants to be doing, and he's positioning effectively.
I'm worried about Astroboy. He's got no rockets. He's got one rail. Now that the items have been taken, that's the focus. And it sounds so basic thing to be concerned about. We have seen a couple of errors from players this tournament where they put themselves in a great position for a frag, but then realize that that weapon's not available anymore.
We can see Cypher's a little bit unsettled. He's switched up his starting pick a number of times now, so not happy with what he's seeing and playing in this map at this point. So Astroboy is unsettling him to some extent.
Well, now we've got such a stack of Cypher, we could maybe get a bit of an aggressive play. What a rocket over there.
Wow.
The follow-up was flawless. This time, Astroboy again. He might have to type in chat once more because those directs were pretty savage.
He is a down-under magnet for these rockets.
Oh, here comes the speed. What is going on? He's just flying at him. He's going to hit one more, but Cypher takes him down.
That's what I mean. As soon as it's like, this is a period of time where I should be defensive, Astroboy's like, nah, I'm going in, boys.
Wait, he just jumped through and took,
That's what I mean.
that was not fast at all. He keeps landing shotgun damage.
He's playing duel backwards for some reason.
I do kind of like Astroboy's dodge. It's been really impressing me this tournament.
Dodge.
Yeah, oh yes. Well, literally.
Southern dodge.
I think his dodge has been awesome.
No, I mean, yeah.
All right, don't hold it against me. Jesus.
Good use of the plasma trail.
Yeah, there's no way of entering there.
Yeah, securing the heavy armor.
Actually, although his stack is minimal, Cypher looking to chase massive rockets.
Jeez.
And that's just going to keep forcing Astroboy to do something about his stack. He's going to be able to run away, but again was down to less than 30 health. Finds a bunch of the resources up in the nail gun room.
Some of these just reaction rockets are insane.
What a rail. Cypher taking down that round, putting us on the tiebreaker. That was pretty beast.
That round was a highlight movie on its own. I can't take it seriously when I see that.
That's extraordinary, isn't it?
Astroboy on steroids flying around the map.
Cypher, though, he's going to be getting the Mega. He's actually going to get everything right at the beginning, forcing out the Ghost Walk from Astroboy.
Switching back to Slash, but this time when he's getting that preferable spawn, as you say, able to just monopolize the map and take everything away from him.
Wants to find a couple more angles, especially when that Ghost Walk's not going to be up. I can't believe he keeps hitting this stuff. He's got to close the gap now. He's still got his full starting stack. He's just got to battle through all that nail gun ammunition that Astroboy's burning off. He wants to go over to Heavy now. Does bump into the teleporter a little bit, but he's going to be chasing right behind Astroboy. Here's going to be one rocket. Can he follow up with anything else? There's a rail, and Astroboy's still got 5 seconds to Ghost Walk. Cypher's got to be careful how he closes the gap.
Cypher recognizing the advantage in terms of ability use and tries to pick up the pace. Slightly unfortunate with the overjump not getting maximal damage.
Whoa. Oh, that rail was very important, actually, and that was a solid shot to land from Astroboy. Before he could see the light at the end of the tunnel on Blood Run, but Cypher is closing that one down.
Jumps to the back to get maximum speed coming out of that hovel that he was hiding in.
They might run into each other in a moment. Astroboy moving back a little bit. Minimal damage taken by the Australian.
And now we see Astroboy under significant pressure. It seems that last round has almost rattled him a bit. The way in which he was slightly on top and then suddenly Cypher's like, this is game over.
You just need a moment of composure right there to settle down. The rockets that have been hitting him have been insane. With rails here coming up for Cypher, and he's going to hit one more. Astroboy just not sure what to do with himself there.
Cypher's gone full OGC mode. Turn that bot on.
He's just got to start avoiding these fights a little bit and try and engineer something from a different angle. I mean, it's hard when someone's hitting so many important shots, and this seems to be everywhere you are on the map.
It's been a few times where Astroboy has also thrown away his life rather needlessly, and it might have been a slightly different story if he didn't do that, because you can't just give away free frag seconds players of this caliber in this stage of the tournament. But his Doom has been quite good, particularly impressive. If he can get off one of the good berserks, that obviously just changes the map.
Well, he did land a very nice rail just then. It's going to take a moment for Cypher to stack up from that. He's got to make sure his control's perfect here on the heavy, and then on the mega. So this is looking fine. He doesn't need to rush it. There's time to work with, and he's looking to make a bit of a trap. Cypher is going to be going the other way, so he's got to be careful that nothing going to block from the opposite way. 76 damage, Rocket trying to follow up, bounces down. He looks for the punch though.
Too early.
And the mega's going to be up also. So Cypher's going to grab this. He's going to get out, and there's no weapons that Astroboy can use.
That was a perfect opportunity to hit some good rocket damage, and he decides to pop the berserk a little bit too early.
He had to go around all the corners of the sort of well that takes you to the bounce pad. That could have been the occasion just there, but
just typical male problem. Just
typical Doom problem. You just want to pop that berserk and get your fists out.
You just have to do it on time, and now he's caused himself a little bit of trouble because he's given Cypher a lifeline back into this game. As you say, stealing away that mega. Now he's hit 2 rails, which means Astroboy needs to be careful. Although Doom has a decent stack, you do need to get that full stack confident because of the speed differential in this matchup.
I think we just saw like 360 jumping rocket there from Cypher. Can he do it again? He's got to watch out for the directs of Astroboy. Oh, that was actually the full 100 damage just then. Astroboy, now he's got just over a minute to try and come back with this. He needs to get at least a frag in this minute. Otherwise, he's going to be going down. That's going to be the one. This time he goes for the punch, and this time he makes it work. And that is going to be Mega right in front of him. He is putting himself in a great position to take this map.
And he has absolutely everything to his name.
Apart from the Berserk. That's the one thing that Cypher's got that he doesn't as we enter Doom versus Doom. But yeah, absolutely. Ammo-wise, he is crisp.
But with this position, he should just be trying to bully Cypher to keep him away from the major items, collect one more cycle. Cypher still doesn't have a rail, so he can use that to his advantage as well. Has to be careful here.
Oh, it doesn't quite land it. Almost between the legs. Mega up in a second. They're both going to be going aerial. There's a very nice shot over there from Astroboy. 14 health. What a rail comes out. How much time have we got left? We've got about 10 seconds. Cypher, he's like hurrying. Please come through the teleporter. I beg you. And with 5 seconds to go, there is a ghost walk, but there's no way a perforation can come out. And Astroboy's going to be able to run away and take map 2. There we go. You can see what it means to him. When they take us to that tiebreaker.
When push came to shove, Astroboy hit the rails he needed to. And yes, he had his up and downs during that match. He gave away a number of rounds slightly carelessly, but he still managed to take the map from Cypher.
Yeah, that was
a huge lifeline.
There's a great mental recovery, I think, we saw during that series, because there was a point where Cypher was all over him, hitting those directs, hitting those rails. I mean, we saw some of the closing round frags that we got from Cypher, and they were sensational.
I was actually really impressed.
Yeah.
He managed to keep his composure because a lot of players would have crumbled under that pressure. And yes, Cypher was hitting amazing shots, but not all the time defining shots. And Astroboy was able to recompose, get back, consolidate. And when the opportunities came, he took them exceptionally well. Yeah, there were a few mishaps like here and there, like you popping the berserk early, but those clutch shots more or less hit. And that is just what you need to do.
Well, at the moment, Jahar is the only one who is pretty much in line for getting his prediction right.
2-1 Cypher.
Yeah, but if Astroboy takes this map, then we are all going to look stupid. Do you think there's a chance he can do it?
Definitely.
I almost feel there's a bit too sloppy, and you can see the highs and lows so drastically in his gameplay. If he can get that solid consistency throughout one map, I almost feel like all the emotions you can see on his face, there's nothing that he hides. He hasn't got like the stone cold evil or toxic face or anything like that. It's every concern is there.
I think it's definitely there. Just from what we've seen of him, Blood Run is leaps and bounds ahead of his other maps. And Corrupted Keep, the rail has been his standout performance in terms of weaponry. Obviously, Corrupted Keep doesn't have that. I just think Cypher will be able to keep up the pressure far too much on this map. There is no breathing room. I think it's the hardest map to play in this current iteration of the game. And I just think this is where Cypher's class will show. But saying that, I've seen Cypher lose this map many, many times, even though he loves it. He says so himself. He says he thinks he can play the perfect game here, but he actually does struggle on it.
Well, if Astroboy is going to be able to pull out that aggressive play and actually do it with the sense behind the rushes and being cautious and calculating, really what your return's going to be off these pushes, maybe something can work for him. That's what Cypher said, that his aggressive play is
good. If it was me, I would have busted out a cheeky scale bear pick and just surprised Cypher, and then Cypher like, no,
that's why you're not. That's why you're not here. I mean, to be fair, 0-4 rates the scale bearer as well.
And that's why
I know you're with him, yeah. I hope one day. But we have got map 3 now between Cypher and Astroboy, who is going to be taking it to the semi-finals to meet Toxic tomorrow. We're on Cypher just to see how the story is going to start on Corrupted Keep. He's got the rockets, he's got the heavy, and he's got a Doomslayer to go up against, despite the overall composition being identical to each other. Oh, the Berserk comes in, but the Ghost Wall comes out, which doesn't last quite as long, and I don't think Astroboy should be pushing that. That was some good LG.
Miscalculation on the speed, because with Mix you can pretty much get away. Easy peasy, especially with the double jump. Although Stretch Armstrong can reach you sometimes.
as we've seen on occasion.
Yeah.
There's going to be the armor, and he's just about going to grab it. That rocket didn't quite deal the damage Cypher was looking for, and that helps Astroboy with his recovery.
But the Ghost Walker's back up, still 10 seconds on the Berserk. It should be up for the next item contest, though. They both have all the weapons they need.
I don't like what Astroboy's doing at the moment. Trying to get a good position to fight on this mega health.
Yeah.
Whoa, that rocket was insanely close. It's going to land a little bit more splash. He's put himself on a weak side, and Cypher is going to be chasing on this one. Good LG. And he's going to be hanging around. This is going to be a dead Astroboy.
Oh!
Mid-air. Let's do this.
Goes out in style.
He's going to find him once more. That Ghost Wall pods.
Oh, it didn't.
Only 22 damage. It finds him. Gets a little bit of a wall jump. Astroboy looking for the mid-airs, and he's just jumping over them.
How did none of those hit?
They were inches away from fragging Cypher.
Yeah, that was an excellent push out of Astroboy. And Cypher's now too weak to contest. He'll probably try and get over and deal some damage on this heavy armor. He always generally finds a way to. You can see good position here, extremely safe.
It's a splash. Can Astroboy close the gap a little bit? Amazing direct. He's going to get the little wall jump on there. That's pretty sick from Astroboy.
Oh. Nice.
All right, this is tense because he's being followed directly. Astroboy looking for a wave, but it's going to be a mutual. Unreal. I can't believe that Astroboy even managed to get a kill just then. However, he's only got one champion left, so he can't get any more mutual frags.
That is a great observation, Zoo.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Follow through the teleporter. He's going to find him. He's got the punch out, but there is actually going to be Astroboy able to run away. Whoa.
Ooh, great rocket.
And no more Berserk. LG, 25 health to go, but he's going to land the rocket anyway, fading away, and Cypher grabs round 1.
Close. A couple of crazy pushes coming from Astroboy, but pinpoint rockets throughout, really from both players. Did you not know I'm a professional beatbox champion?
Please, you're reminding me of strengths at the moment.
Don't say
We don't
that.
need more Twiglets here. I've lost my track now. Cheers, LSX. What I was actually going to say is how I was enjoying Astroboy's pushes and the way that he was countering the aggression. Despite going down in certain frags, he was really trying to do the best he could to come back off being fragged.
Indeed. He did. And a couple of overextensions, particularly the second frag, but managed to just get out alive. This is really great. Ooh. Really great damage. Meaning he should win himself the heavy uncontested now because Cypher would have wanted to push, but also needs to pick up that rocket launcher before he does so.
I like that he's looking for that bit of extra damage before he picks up the item. Cypher should have a very good idea of when the heavy was picked up. It won't be a mystery to him. Oh, a little bit of splash. 31 damage. Adds up when you're going up versus a low stack champion like Nyx.
Nice rocket. Could he hit the double? Nearly.
Cypher was so weak just then. Astroboy's going to give himself plenty of time to get over to the heavy armor. He's actually going to go for an attack 3 seconds exactly before.
But Cypher's smart positioning, not standing on the item.
Wow.
Nevertheless, great finishing.
Amazing combination from Astroboy, hitting that rocket just off the pillars around heavy. Wow, that LG. Cypher is going to have to back the hell off, but he's going to land an incredible rocket. Wow. And this time, Astroboy's got to rethink his life. There's been a shotgun as well, actually. That was insanely close to death. Wow, he keeps wanting to push in for that aggression. He wants to make sure he's not letting go of the items for nothing, but this time he pays with his life.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, against probably the majority of players, that would have been a great push. But Cypher's rockets are just slightly more accurate than everyone else, and you have to adjust based on that.
His algae's been pretty unreal too. Fortunately for Astroboy, he's managed to find a heap of health bubbles to recover with. And I'm nervous if he's going to try and push in on the Mega. He's going to look for some kind of damage, and Cypher's read that. He even wants to drop in for it. He's going to use his Berserk to move away defensively.
Yeah, and you can see just how smart Cypher is in these situations, in that he will always forfeit the item to deal damage and play safe. That way he will always maintain a stack advantage as well.
Astroboy's stuck over here. Cypher should be able to engineer a frag of some sort. Going to go with the lightning gun. Astroboy's hitting nothing. There's about 10 health left for the Australian, and he is going to die. One more champion for him this round, and it would put Cypher on match point if he can kill it. With a tri-bolt damage.
It was. First of the this duel.
We saw some pretty sick tri-bolt from Tox earlier, actually. So
yeah,
hoping for a bit more.
Never really seen much tri-bolt, though.
Cypher trying to continue the pressure at the moment. Astroboy is landing actually some decent LG, but an amazing air rocket. He's looking for a bit more. The dodge coming out. 67 health to go, and Cypher might have to reevaluate his options.
Craigasm's coming out.
Chat, please. LG. Oh, wow. He gets the combination this time, and Astroboy misreading the situation a little bit.
Just a little bit too aggressive again. I mean, particularly after Cypher hit those couple of great shots over by the jump pad, there's no reason why he should be challenging for that heavy armor. Again, when we know, and you always know that Cypher's position is pretty much going to be spot on. He's not going to be standing on the heavy. He's going to be looking around the outskirts for that kind of push.
We're on Astroboy to start with. This could be on the very late chances we get to see him looking for shotgun, but he can't win the race with that weapon. I think he had the heavy the super shotgun, and Cypher had the starting shotgun, which has got a quicker reload rate. So I think just able to get that extra damage out a fraction of a second sooner. That was incredibly close.
You can never trust a long-range shotgun, though, can you?
Yeah, it's true. Well, there's a smaller cone of damage with the storm shotgun, but hold on a second. We have got the punch coming in. It's going to be a mutual frag, but Astroboy's got to sacrifice so much to make that happen. And Cypher, he gets Berserk out.
And did you know Astroboy cannot get a mutual frag again? Punch to the face.
Unreal. Astroboy goes in for such an aggressive play despite seeing the Berserk. But Cypher, he's able to make it through, and he's going to the semi-finals.
Another day at the office for Cypher. Unfortunately for Astroboy, the second map, extremely well played. He is a blood run connoisseur.
He is. He absolutely is.
At the end of the day,